Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, good morning. Just made it. Welcome to another Market Open stream. Of course, a couple big things to talk about. What's going on with Binance? Is this still okay? What about the massive withdrawals we've been hearing about? So let's talk about that for a little bit. And also let's talk about what to expect today, because today is the press conference day. FOMC meeting is going to conclude. What is Powell going to say? Let's speculate. All right. Welcome, guys. You know what? I find it funny. This is why I've talked about Binance for a little bit over this past week so far. But I find it funny that CNBC would choose to put this story. Binance CEO says deposits are coming back with these bumpy road ahead for crypto firm. That as the main headline news of the day. Right here it says, here's everything the Federal Reserve expected to do Wednesday. You would figure today should be all about Powell and the FOMC meeting and rate hikes and so forth, right? But no, that's not what that's not what the front page news is. It's about Binance, right? And then, of course, a lot of FUD pieces over here, how Binance temporarily halted withdrawals and Congress considered this and this. I mean, there's a lot of FUD right now around crypto, right? I do think there's a little, I guess, hit against crypto right now, especially Binance, because they are the big dog right now, right? So that's why I felt like I needed to talk a little bit more about them. But what's been happening, right? Over the last few days, CZ has said, or Nansen, who is a firm that's been looking at all the addresses from these major exchanges, right? Kind of said, well, there's a lot of withdrawals, 3.5 billion worth. Binance's CEO CZ said, you know what? Yes, we did have large amounts of withdrawals, but things have stabilized, right? And here's the thing. We processed more withdrawals during the Luna crash and FTX crash. Okay, so even though this may seem like it's really bad how much withdrawals happened over the last week or so, this is nothing compared to the fear levels that we had in general when Luna first collapsed, right? And when FTX collapsed. So it's actually pretty normal. And CZ has also said, you know, we're the biggest dog in the game. And there's going to be a lot of tax. There's going to be a lot of FUD. But Binance was built on FUD. And we will continue to move forward no matter what. Right? So that's the right mindset. He's not hiding anything. Right? Not doing anything shady. Well, not that we could tell right at this point, right? But Binance has been around since 2017. They had their issues. Binance has been hacked before, okay? But they made everyone whole. They did recover. Well, they didn't recover, but they paid out everything. They promised they would. They have their own safe fund. And CZ seems like he's doing all the right things. Didn't splurge in 2021, right? The only exchange that didn't actually lay off anyone in 2022. Still growing, still building. That's what we want to see. So I think things are overblown at this point. And Digital Asset Investor basically made this point, and this is very, very, very true. If CZ had not announced he was selling his FTT tokens, Gary Gensler would still be working in hand with SBF and his fraud machine to craft crypto regulations in the USA. Let that sink in. That is 100% correct. A lot of people seem to have jumped on this bandwagon like, oh, CZ caused FTT or FTX to go under. He probably popped the bubble, but imagine if he didn't. SBF would still be up to his shadiness, still using customer assets to do whatever, right? And still working with Gary Gensler on whatever they were working on, favorable terms or favorable regulations for FTX, which would have made things even worse, right? So let that sink in. Things would have been much worse, or would have continued to be much worse, had CZ not announced and did what he did, right? And then lastly, I didn't want to show you guys this. This is Nansen that's tracking Binance's total assets, 59,649,000,000, a little bit lower than last night. I did show this last night, but this is still more than 10x of everyone else. In fact, Binance holds more assets than all other exchanges combined. Okay, Binance is more than, way more than anyone else. Coinbase said they have about 5 billion. Crypto.com, I looked at it, was 3.5. I think KuCoin was 2.5, right? And these are the biggest guys. So as for the withdrawals, perfectly normal at this point, okay? But I've been saying, if you guys are scared of Binance or Coinbase or any exchange out there, right? Safeguard your own crypto. Nothing wrong with that. Put your crypto in a ledger, right? Learn how to use it and be done with it, right? So you safeguard your own money. You don't have to worry about anything else, any other contagion that spreads. But as of right now, I think Binance is doing just fine. And there is a coordinated attack, once again, on crypto as a whole, okay? Not just Binance, although they're the easy target because they are the biggest. Now, there is more FUD besides this, not just about Binance. I also saw this headline. Bitcoin could drop to 10 to 12,000 by Q1 in 2023 from another big institution, Van Eyck. Okay, Van Eyck is not so pro-Bitcoin. I don't recall. They're trying to get a Bitcoin ETF, but they've never really been pro-Bitcoin. So it makes me wonder why they want to spread a headline like this. Now, what's their reason? Well, they think that a lot of miners will go bankrupt. That the low prices right now that we're seeing will cause a lot of miners to go bankrupt, which means that they have to sell off all their Bitcoin, right? Which means that Bitcoin is going to fall, okay? So is that really going to happen? Well, the game has changed for the miners. I'll say that. In 2017 and 2018, 19, 20, when Bitcoin was really suppressed, around 3,000, 4,000, 6,000 per Bitcoin, yeah, a lot of miners did have to sell. The small miners all went bankrupt. The big miners continued to mine. But the game has changed. First of all these miners that we're hearing about now, like Mara, Hut, and whatever else, Galaxy, right? Or Scientific, Core Scientific. I mean, Core Scientific had issues because, again, they had exposure to HODL and Luna and everyone else. They were part of it. But the other miners, they continue to stay strong. Their quarter reports say they sell nothing, right? And they continue to mine more. So what they're doing is taking their Bitcoin, basically borrowing against that so that they don't need to sell anything. And then they're using that to continue to mine. So that's the new strategy. And you could argue, well, that may be risky. Well, it could be, but for Bitcoin to fall 50% from here, for them to get margin liquidated, very small chance, right? So that's what they're doing. So that means they're not selling anything. In fact, they're gaining. Every single quarter, they're saying that they're gaining on Bitcoin. They're holding because they just don't want to sell, right? It's a race to see who could accumulate more Bitcoins by the end, right? Yeah, I just noticed Bitcoin, breaking through 18,000 while I've been chatting. So that's good. Good overall. Good day. It's going to be a good day. I said that yesterday. But anyways, going back to my point. So the miners are not selling right now unless things get really bad. Okay, if Bitcoin drops to 10K or 8K or 6K like before, yeah, they're probably forced to sell. But as of right now, Bitcoin at 18K, this is right in line with how much it costs to make a Bitcoin. And also, let's not forget, you look at Bitcoin's hash rate and difficulty, you can see that, yeah, it's adjusted down a little bit. And that's because some of the smaller miners did have to stop mining, right? But the beauty of Bitcoin is that every 2 weeks it adjusts its difficulty. If it detects that there's less miners, well, the network will basically make it easier for miners to solve the next block. So it adjusts its algorithm, and that's one of the beautiful things about it. So if you see a massive amount of people leave the network. Well, the network is incentivizing them to stay and to come back because after that 2-week adjustment, things get easier, right? So you could see that the difficulty actually adjusted down -7% to accommodate people that have left, right? So now it makes it easier to mine and makes the cost to mine go down, right? So it self-adjusts. That's the beauty of Bitcoin too. There's really nothing else out there that operates this way, right? But just to keep things into perspective, this drop may seem horrible, but we were at all-time high in terms of hash rate. All-time high. Despite Bitcoin being at 17K, right? We were at all-time high just last week or just a few days ago. That shows you how things have changed. The miners are not going away at all, right? Even though the small ones maybe, but the large ones continue to mine and add, and that's what we want to see, right? Bitcoin is the only, there's not many proof of work coins left, but Bitcoin is the only proof of work coin where the price trails the hash rate. Always been like that. Bitcoin's hash rate has always led the way, and then the price catches up, and then there's a deviation, and then it catches up once again. But the hash rate continues to go up because, again, it's a race to the end to see who can accumulate the most Bitcoin they can. That's exactly what's happening. Hey, man, look at this. Bitcoin broke above its recent high, 18.2. Looking good. Yesterday I did tell you guys, hey, if we could break that 18 mark, 20K, 21K could be right around the corner, and today could set things off in a big way when we have the FOMC meeting. So let's talk about that next. So we do have that conclusion of the FOMC meeting and the press conference right around 1:30. I think it's the press conference, and I love streaming those with you guys. I love the comments, so I'm going to be doing that once again. Okay, so at 1:30 I will be streaming once again, Central Standard Time. I think it's 2:30 Eastern Time. But what is Powell going to do? I think he's going to come out being very, very dovish. He's going to say, no, we can't pivot yet. Okay, I'm going to tell you exactly what he's going to say. He's going to say, no, it's too early to cut rates altogether. It's too early to stop. Okay, we still have more to fight, more inflation that we need to fight and curb, right? But, however, we recognize that we have been very aggressive for this year, and we need to slow down because we don't want to overdo it. We don't want to cripple the economy. We don't want to kill the jobs and businesses out there. So what we're going to do today is we're going to lower the rate to 50 basis points rather than 75 basis points, and we will evaluate, and we could be lowering that rate, the rate hike, the next FOMC meeting, right? Meaning the one in January. And he's going to say we're doing this because we see inflation coming down, slowing down. We're seeing the economy soften, right? Housing is softening. Demand is softening, right? Jobs is softening. So that's exactly what he's going to say. Word for word. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But, you know, that's how I think it's going to go. And I think after he says it, the markets go rally hard. And it's going to push Bitcoin up with it. So that's what I'm anticipating. I could be wrong, but either way, tune in. I'll stream with you guys, and we'll have a good old time listening to Powell. And speaking of which, speaking of inflation, this is also good for those of you guys in the UK. Inflation actually dropped a little bit. It was sky high, 11.1%, and it dropped to 10.7%, which is a bigger drop than anticipated in November. So not only the US, UK is seeing inflation come down a little bit. Of course, still much higher than the US. And UK's energy prices are still way higher because of what's going on in Europe. But still, that's encouraging as well, right? In 2023, if we see nations around the world get a grasp on inflation, right, and we see it start coming down, well, that's good overall, and then we could avoid a nasty global recession, right? So we'll see. We'll see. What else is going on today? Well, of course, for Bitcoin, the HODL waves are very, very low, which is good, which shows that people that got scared and sold, they did so, and we're pretty much left with the holders. That's pretty much what it says. And we are right at the level where Bitcoin usually finds a bottom and turns around. I honestly think that's where we are. I think the FTX collapse was the last straw, and I don't see any more firms that are, let's say, insolvent actually go bankrupt. I just, everyone else, all the other exchanges, right? They battle through the FUD. They've survived. Binance is going to survive. Coinbase is going to survive. I just don't know who else is out there that could actually go under. I think they're all done. So if that's the case, then we're going to recover from here. And if you look at the halving progress, right, we're 65% in until the next halving event. And usually what happens? Well, if you look at the last two halving events, that's a bottom, an absolute bottom, basically. So we have history on our side too. Same thing. If you look at the last top to bottom from 2017 all the way to the end of 2018, it took about 363 days, almost one full year. And guess what? From our top of 69,000 to that bottom of 15,000, exactly 364 days, roughly 1 year. So again, maybe this was the plan all along. Maybe FTX and Luna and all those guys that fell under had nothing to do with the fact that Bitcoin was just meant to go down and is part of the cycle, and we're going to go higher now. You can make that argument, but I would say no, they had something to do with it. And then the last few things, Celsius is trying to recover almost $8 million in Voyager. So I don't know how bankrupt companies, how they could still seek assets from other bankrupt companies. I don't know how that works, but that's something that's happening right now, I guess. I don't even know who's bidding for Voyager now that FTX is gone. Who's going to be bidding for Celsius? How much is going to be given back? Just don't know at this point. There's no idea. I saw this too. Seems like President Biden received $5.2 million in donations from SBF, and some reporter asked the spokesperson whether or not he's going to be returning it, and they totally dodged the question. So I think the answer is no, but maybe because of all the scrutiny, maybe the administration has to. I don't know, but that's awkward place to be in, right? And then lastly, I saw this. This has nothing to do with Bitcoin being above 18,000 or the FOMC meeting or Bitcoin or crypto overall, but I think something like this. I mean, this is a breakthrough, a scientific breakthrough that will lift up mankind in unknown ways, right? But no one is talking about it. No one is talking about this breakthrough, how we have, as humans, just created nuclear fusion, controlled nuclear fusion. And this is a form of clean energy that gives us more power than we put in. And it's the first time in human history that we have been able to achieve this. So, I mean, this is monumental, okay? But no one is talking about it. But what they did right now, like our nuclear power plants and nuclear bombs are using nuclear fission, which basically crashes atoms together and separates them. And that's how we get that destructive energy, right? But this is the opposite. You're actually crashing two atoms and forming a new atom. And it's giving off a tremendous amount of energy, but there's no nuclear waste whatsoever. And you're getting more energy than you're putting in. In fact, this very first experiment was 150% plus in energy. and it's controlled energy. We can actually control that and use that, right? So this paves the way for green energy worldwide if we can get this into commercial use, right? Hopefully not in military use, because if we create nuclear bombs based on nuclear fission, I mean, it's going to be disastrous. But if we could create power plants using this, or use this for cars or whatever in the future, right? Green energy all around. I mean, anyways, I'm not a scientist, but if you read about it, it's very, very, very fascinating. It's very good. It's very good, but no one talks about it because people rather talk about SBF and FTX collapse. I get it. But I just want to pinpoint that. All right. Let's do some Q&A. Gary, do you still drink? I haven't seen crack a bottle for a while. Very little. Very little. I had a few beers here or there, but been trying to avoid alcohol altogether. This is looking good. Looking good, my friends. I got to zoom out a little bit. Yeah, you can see. We don't have much resistances up until, 19s here. We get a little push today, we'll be right back to 19s, 20s in no time. We just need that little push. All right, scrolling up here. Let's see if I missed anything. All right. I wouldn't mind Bitcoin hitting 10K. I would buy a crap ton more. There's probably only 17 million BTC for the 8 billion people. I would say a lot less than that. There's probably like 14, to be honest. I mean, just Satoshi himself owns 1 million out of the 19, so that makes it 18 already. And there's guaranteed about 3 to 4 million that's lost. So you're talking about a lot less in circulation than people realize. Are you aware that Canada plans on banning margin leverage? Yeah, I did mention that yesterday. I think that's good for crypto, but also not good because they're targeting crypto. Because there's margin and leverage in stocks and equities. They're not banning that, right? So in a way, it's good. In a way, it's not good. That's kind of how I feel about that. Captain Nakamoto, welcome. It's just that one guy. Yeah, I'm on Twitch, but only 10 viewers though. But it's okay. I'll build it up. What do you think about the Tamadoge project? I don't think much of it, VI. Not something on my radar right now. What are your thoughts on quant? I'm neutral on quant. I've always been neutral on quant. More of a B2B project. So that's why I'm neutral. The Shaolin. Did you check out Chainlink's liquid staking? I saw that their pool, right, was basically filled up, and they had to open up a little bit more. But I think people need to recognize that once you stake, you won't be able to withdraw for 9 to 12 months. People are still confused about that with ETH, but it's the same doing Chainlink. So just know that. Let's see what the entire market cap is right now. Another 7 billion. Nice. Nice. Is Do Kwon still free? Yes. Hiding out in Siberia. Or Serbia. Ugh. Not Siberia, Serbia. He has no more passport. So they revoked his passport. So Serbia may be the last place he could travel to. That's it. Raf. Thank you. Where's Caroline during all this? Either in New York or in Dubai. The plan was for all the people to gather in Dubai. Because I think there's no extradition laws. But then Dubai recently said that they will comply with the U.S. government. So I don't know if she's hiding there. But there was some pictures swirling around about her being in New York. Maybe she's testifying against SBF. I don't know. I would think she wouldn't be casually walking around in Starbucks in New York because the picture showed that. I think that may be an older picture. Bri Guy says, if energy becomes nearly free, I would think price of things becomes obsolete, including Bitcoin. No. No. Just because energy is free doesn't mean that everything else is free. Still, there's manpower that's needed to create things. To be able to dig things out of the ground still takes machinery that costs things. I mean, so no, I don't think things just instantly become free. But think about Bitcoin mining using nuclear fusion. Nearly free energy to mine Bitcoin. Daniel, I have all BTC and ETH on Ledger, staking ADA and Cosmos at Exodus. I am using Binance to stake Avalanche, Matic, and DOT. Do you have a wallet you recommend to stake Avalanche, Matic, and DOT? I think, you know, I use Binance.us to stake a little bit too. I mean, if you're looking at, for example, Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet allows you to stake Matic. Avalanche and DOT, I'm not familiar with any wallet outside their own that allows you to stake. You could stake. You could get a light wallet from Avalanche and stake directly from it. It's a browser-based wallet. It's quite easy to do. So it's just one more wallet you have to worry about. DOT, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they have their own wallet. I'm not sure if it's a light wallet or a full-fledged wallet. But I'm pretty sure all the chains that allow staking, they allow you to do so from their own native wallet. But I'm not sure if like something like Trust Wallet has staking within. I mean, honestly, Binance.us, I use them too. I don't think they're going to go away anywhere anytime soon. They're going to be around for a long time. So as long as you don't have everything on the centralized exchanges, I think you'll be okay. You know, you can also stake ADA directly from, oh, you're doing it through Exodus, but you could stake ADA through Ledger too. You could use their Yori wallet. So just to throw that out there as an option. Did I order the Ledger stacks? Not yet. I'm just going to wait until it comes out. It does look like it's going to be the coolest hardware wallet there is. Seems like the bears got way too unrealistic and greedy. My friend didn't buy BTC at 15.5 because he thinks Tether will tank. Missed opportunity. I mean, this notion about Tether tanking has been around since 2017, all right? Can it happen one day? Sure. But if you're just like waiting for it to happen before you buy in, maybe too late. There's a lot of lost opportunities. Maybe Bitcoin is at $200,000 before Tether tanks, right? If that happens, it brings Bitcoin back down to 50,000 or 100,000, right? So every single cycle, we know that Bitcoin forms a higher low and a much higher high, right? So think about it. If 15K was our low, which I think it is, that low is 5 times higher than the 3K low of 2018, right? And what was the low before 2018? It was $160. So every low gets substantially higher, and every high gets substantially higher too. Do you think they will consider consumer debt increase above 4% in their next rate hike? I think Powell considers a lot of things, but he does mention, out of all the meetings that I've watched, he mentions PCE. Okay, not so much CPI, but PCE. But PCE does show that core inflation is slowing down. So that's number one. He also talks about jobs a lot. Jobs and wages. I know jobs came in lighter. Okay, I don't know about wages, though. I think wages are still high. So there's other things I think he looks at, but he doesn't really talk about. But overall, I think everything he's going to talk about today, he's going to see there's a softening in it, which is what he wants, right? And inflation slowing down. So, I mean, he's going to get everything he wanted. I stake in BTC, ETH, Atom, Polygon, and Chainlink. How do you stake in BTC? VI chokers. Morocco or France? I have no clue. I have no clue. But I'm just going to throw out Morocco. What about the Canadians that are now heading into crypto world without leverage? I think leverage set back crypto a lot. In my opinion, I feel like so many people got liquidated because they don't know what they're doing. They think they're expert traders, or they copy other expert traders, supposed expert traders. So much money got lost through leverage trading. Goes both ways. The only person that truly wins, or the only people, I should say, that truly win, are the exchanges. They collect the fees no matter what happens to you. You win, you lose, they collect the fees, right? So I actually never liked the introduction of leverage into space, or margin for that matter. So that's why I think it's good to eliminate them. But also, on the other hand, you know, I don't think it's right to just single out crypto, right? If they're going to get rid of margin and leverage, they should do it all around for all investments, not just crypto. Should be done for equities too. But of course, they're not going to do that. So there lies the problem. How about those Celtics? The only reason why I like the Celtics is because I have Jaylen Brown in my fantasy team, and that's it. I can't get behind them. It would be crazy if the Pelicans won this year, because they're playing outstanding, and Zion is playing like a beast. Like, he's actually looking for his own, and he's literally unstoppable. He's like a Shaq, but 6 inches shorter. So if he could stay healthy, Pelicans has a really good shot. And I'd love to see the Suns. I've always told you guys, I can't respect the Suns, right? And they're like a whole bunch of whiny babies, right? So I'm glad Zion did that 360 dunk on them. Johnny, hey, my stance has not changed. Still be diversified, 50, 25, 25. But if you want to be a Bitcoin maxi, go ahead. But when we come up, I think your mind will change on that stance. Hassan, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Whiny babies. That's the entire league. Well, okay. You make a solid point there. Hey, you got 14 viewers on Twitch. Nice. When will Gina present a stream of yours? Would be cool. You know, I joked about that in the past. I would love to hire Gina to come to GeorgeCon when I have in the future. Have her be a host. You know, I will try to make that happen. The War Player. What's up? Do you think ETH would be over 2K if FTX didn't F up? Yeah, I think Bitcoin, we were at like 24K, going up to 30K. If this FTX thing didn't happen, this contagion didn't spread, I think we would be at like 30K right now. So yes. Steven, no. It's been an absolutely horrible year, so no. 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 I need to get my Twitch viewers up. There's some crazy people on Twitch getting like 30 or 40,000 live views. I need some of that. It's been a barrage of bad news. Yes. Yes, it has. What do you think about mana and sand? I like sand a lot more. I like sand a lot more than mana. I don't know what's going on with mana. Like all the press about like brands coming in and stuff stopped. Sandbox, however, is still moving forward, and I still hear good things about them. So I like sand a lot more. Do you like Kraken Exchange? I can't really comment because I don't really use them. You know, I think Jesse is a capable leader. Seems like he's very outspoken. So I think they're pretty good. Also in the U.S., so highly regulated. So that's also good. But I've never really used them. I used them back in the day a little bit, like way back in the day when they were nobodies. What is it? I think I started an account like in 2015 or 2014 maybe. And it was garbage back then. But now I think it's very different. Hopefully Zion never goes to the Knicks. Anyone that goes to the Knicks just becomes irrelevant. Finally, they replaced the main headline news to be about Powell, which should be what people care about on CNBC, right? Like, I don't think people on CNBC really cares about Binance, but they had Binance as like the main headline news, which I thought was weird. It seems like it's just a coordinated attack on crypto. Photos show disgraced FTX founder, SBF, cuffed in Bahamas. Yeah. I will say, though, he looks pretty skinny in that photo. He must not be eating. Do you like Clay Nation, a metaverse entity project Cardano? I don't dislike them or like them. I'm neutral. When is the meeting? 1:30. 1:30. I'll have another stream with you guys. Right, I'll start at probably 15, 20 minutes early, so come in around 1 o'clock. And we'll have a good old time watching Powell speak. No, it's 1:30 Central Time, 2:30 Eastern Time. What do you think about Valachunas? I think that's how you say names. He's a solid center. Or who's JV? Or are you talking about the other guy? No, I don't know the other center on the Pelicans. But Valachunas, it seems like he's a decent center. All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. Bitcoin is above 18,000, right? That's good. But I think there's more coming. So tune in at 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll see what Powell says, and we'll see what Bitcoin and crypto does afterwards. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care.